to For the First Time in Forever, the show that aims to fill the gaps in all of your festive watch lists. Last week we kissed? We did, or did we? Last week we kicked off the festive month by taking a look at an adaptation of a beloved Dr. Seuss story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description below. But this week, travel back with me to 1984 for a movie that isn't afraid to dip its toes in the ridiculousness and, violence that Christmas is known for. This is Gremlins. Wait a second. I am going to be talking about spoilers for this film, so consider this your warning now.
Christmas carolers. I hate Christmas carolers. Screechy voiced little blue sniffers. I warned you, Brad!
New JML Mogwai. Keep them away from bright lights. Don't let them get wet. And don't feed them after midnight. Mogwai. Available for purchase at any weird and creepy looking market stall. Terms and conditions apply. Please adhere to these 3 rules, otherwise you may risk your mother being strangled with Christmas decorations. Those are 3 important rules if you ever find yourself looking after a Mogwai. Yes, Gremlins, a film that, honestly at this point, I should have seen. Everyone has seen Gremlins. I feel like I'm the extreme outsider in this situation. Everyone saw it as a kid, I missed the bus, and now I'm eventually trying to catch up. It's a festive fave, beloved by many. It's produced by Steven Spielberg, and certain rumours suggest that he may have had a bit more of a hands-on role than the producer normally should have. Kind of similar to what he did with Poltergeist, and funny enough, I've got a video of that on this series, so if you want to check that out, feel free. Set a few days just before Christmas, after his dad returns from a business trip, Billy is gifted with an unusual pet along with 3 specific rules. When almost all of these rules are broken, an entire army of psychotic and chaos-driven gremlins are unleashed onto the town to wreak havoc how they see fit. So like I said, Gremlins. Everyone loves it, right? Did I? Yeah. It was alright. Am I crazy about this movie though? Not really. I think it's entertaining, but I'll touch on my criticism shortly, because one of the brightest aspects about this movie, without a shadow of a doubt, is the practical production and creature designs. With Spielberg attached and the film coming out in the 80s, you just know that no matter the film, the behind-the-scenes crew are going to give it their all to bring the craziest creations to life. Whether it be melting faces in Raiders of the Lost Ark, a haunted house springing to life in Poltergeist, or introducing us to everyone's favourite extraterrestrial, when Spielberg is on your side, the limits of your imagination are not a problem. It also helps that you've got a screenplay by Chris Columbus, who just seemed to be behind every family adventure type movie from the 80s and 90s, and there is definitely that well-known Spielbergian touch and kind of Columbus presence that you can just tell. When you're watching a film, if they're involved in it, it's just there. Now, it doesn't get off to an amazing start. I like the little introduction scene where Billy's dad comes across Gizmo, even if it does reinforce the idea that nothing good ever comes from buying things at dodgy market stalls. Nothing! But once we travel back to Kingston Falls, that is where the film struggles to get going. I understand it's doing the cliched 80s movie setup of a young man who's picked on, struggling to find a way in life, as well as a love interest that behaves like a will they won't they scenario. But when he gets Gizmo, the film kind of picks up a bit more, and Gizmo is adorable. I think even if you are a heartless git, you can't help but melt when you see him. And then after Gizmo's introduced, we're dragging our feet again as Billy just throws caution to the wind and treats Gizmo like his own little science experiment until the Gremlins are eventually born. And thank God for the Gremlins. Because aside from Gizmo, all of the other characters in this film are pretty bland and uninteresting. Billy had practically nothing to him to warrant being the main character, and Phoebe Cates got sidelined with the backstory that did not work at all about her dad dying in a fire as he was pretending to be Santa coming down the chimney.
He slipped and broke his neck. Died instantly. And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
I've already spoken about the outstanding practical creations, but once again, Chris Rand, who is the mastermind behind these and other practical creations in films like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and everything in Gremlins, from the destruction of Kingston Falls, the sheer and utter insanity that takes place inside the bar, and Stripe's seriously gruesome death. It really is an impressive looking film. And the Gremlins are perfectly realised too. They're like Looney Tunes characters brought to life. And that bar scene is the best representation of seemingly how much creative freedom Chris Columbus had with the screenplay. Gremlins are smoking, shooting each other, playing poker, getting trashed, flashing, and dancing in leg warmers. That entire sequence was easily the best part of the film. Please tell me that I wasn't the only one who had this reaction when Mrs. Deagle was launched through her roof. All I'm saying is, you threaten a dog, you deserve what comes to you. And then the Gremlins go on a tear because nothing says Christmas like wanton destruction, domestic terrorism, and murderous rampages.
While everybody else is opening up their presents, they're opening up their wrists. It's true, the suicide rate's always the highest around the holidays.
Merry Christmas, everyone. It has to be said, though, that, I think Gremlins is entertaining and I get the appeal, but at the same time, in regards to some of the other 80s family adventures out there, I don't think it ranks as highly with them. As a huge advocate for practical effects, that was definitely the highlight for me. For everything else, it just didn't feel exceptionally special. And personally speaking, I would actually just ditch Billy altogether and have his dad be the main character who's creating all these failed inventions, and he finally manages to create one that works and saves the town from the Gremlins. I think that would have been a much better film. So, after watching Gremlins for the first time in forever, I can say that it's worth it, with the caveat that you're into stupid slapstick comedy and for the amazing creature effects. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on that film. Let me know, have you seen of course you've seen Gremlins. Has anyone not seen Gremlins? Was anyone in the same boat as me up until last week? Please comment down below. Do you like Gremlins? Is it one of your favourite Christmas films, or is it kind of like me where you kind of like it, but you don't think it's up there with some of the greats? And as I'm sure some of you are aware, we're so close, guys. We're so close to completing the road to 300 subscribers. So if you are watching this video, you have enjoyed yourself, but you are not yet subscribed, please help me create a Christmas miracle. It's the time for caring, the time for sharing. Click that subscribe button. I promise you won't regret it. And here is a little teaser for next week's festive film. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please make sure that you click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All the links to my social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and my letterbox are all in the description below. And if you haven't liked the video, what are you still doing here?